What's up, X-treme kids of Ottawa and around the world? This is First Lady K, a.k.a. KK, a.k.a. Sister K, and a.k.a. Full of Beans for Jesus. We are so thankful that you can be with us this week for midweek story time when we are reading the Veggie Tales Bible storybook. And this week, we're going to be reading Dave and the Giant Pickle. How many of you boys and girls like pickles? I like pickles. Do you like sour pickles? Or do you like sweet pickles? Or maybe you like homemade pickles. Have you ever tried to make your own pickle? I would love to try one day to make my own pickle. We would love to hear from you at ottawachurchkids@gmail.com. Let us know if you are able to make your own pickles. And if you are, maybe you can show some kindness to your neighbors in this time and deliver some homemade pickles to your neighbors. Or maybe you could make a pickle tray and deliver them to your neighbors as a special treat. If you are able to do these acts of kindness, drop us an email and you'll receive something very special in the mail. So let's get started. Larry the Cucumber is talking to us today, and he says, have you ever felt like you wanted to do something but couldn't? When I was little, I always wanted to be able to play the harmonica while riding a skateboard down a big hill. Oh, that sounds hard, boys and girls. Do any of you play the harmonica? If you do, drop us an email. Larry continues and says, just like his older cousin does, Hank. He was really great at it, and he told me I was too little to do it right. Oh, that wasn't very nice, was it, boys and girls? Larry says, I would get so frustrated, but Bob made me feel better one day. He told me not to give up, and he suggested that I read the story of Dave and the Giant Pickle. So we are going to do that right now, boys and girls. You know, one day I bought Pastor a pickle, and it was the size of a sausage, like you would put on a hot dog. It was humongous, but I think that this pickle is even larger. Here we go. Once there was a small shepherd boy named Dave who had 7 brothers. Boys and girls, to this week, if your name is Dave, drop us an email at ottawachurchkids@gmail.com and you'll get a special prize in the mail too. Dave and his 7 brothers, they lived in Israel and spent their time in the field taking care of sheep. Bah! Sheep that tipped over, plunk. Dave's father had to send his brothers to help fight the Philistines, the people who hated Israel. But Dave couldn't go because he was just a little guy. Why can't little guys do big things too? Dave wondered. Fighting the Philistines wasn't easy. They made a crummy deal with the Israelites. Both armies had to send their biggest and strongest man out to fight each other. Pow, pow. Whoever lost the battle would have to be the slaves of the other country. Oh, no. Suddenly, the land began to tremble. And boom, 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 a a giant pickle named Goliath appeared and asked,
"Who will I fight?"
The Israelites were terrified of Goliath, so they ran away and hid.
"I'll come back tomorrow,"
said the pickle. He came back again and again. For 40 days, the Israelites ran away and hid. David's dad was worried about his boys, so he sent little Dave to the battlefield with pizza for his brothers. So he went, very quietly. Dave was surprised that no one would fight Goliath. What's going on here? Come on, guys. We're the children of God, Dave reminded everyone. But the Israelites were too scared. They had forgotten that God was so much bigger than any giant pickle and any giant at all. So little Dave agreed to fight him. Can you believe it, boys and girls? That's a job for a big person, not a little boy like you, said King Saul. You're big, said Dave. I'm little. My head only comes to your middle, but little guys can do big things too. Dave trusted God, so he faced the giant pickle all alone, all by himself.
"Who will fight me?"
the giant asked. Dave said, I come before you in the name of God of Israel. Who will help me defeat you? Dave said. Then he bravely put a stone into his slingshot and let it fly. Zoom! The stone struck right against Goliath, right in his noggin. Goliath fell down, boom, 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 to the ground. Hooray! The Israelites shouted. They were saved. And that is the story of Dave, a really little guy who did a really big thing. Wow, that's amazing, boys and girls. Many of us children, we feel like we're little guys like Dave too. And sometimes life and things can seem like a really big, giant pickle. But I know that you're really tough like Dave too. And you trust God too. This is what Dave is saying to us. It was really scary fighting a giant pickle, but I trusted God because He made each of us very special. You can read about the real story of David and Goliath in the Bible. Oh, I would like to do that, boys and girls. I hope you can stick around with me and do it just now. David and Goliath is in 1 Samuel chapter 17, verses 1 to 58. And maybe you can read it with me. The Philistine army was camped on one hill. Israel's army was on another hill. The valley was between them. Jesse's 3 oldest sons had followed Saul into battle. David was the youngest. He took care of his father's sheep. Remember what sheep say? Bah! Early one morning, David loaded up food and went to give to his brothers. As they were eating, Goliath stepped forward from his line. Goliath was a mighty Philistine hero. He was more than 9 feet tall. He again dared someone to fight him. David said to King Saul, "Don't let anyone lose hope because of the Philistine. I'll go out and fight him." Saul replied, "You aren't able to go out there and fight that Philistine. You're too little. You're too young. He's been fighting man ever since he was a boy." David said, "The Lord saved me from the paw of a lion. He saved me from the paw of the bear, and he'll save me from the powerful hand of this Philistine too." So David went down to a stream and chose 5 smooth stones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He said, "Goliath, you are coming to fight against me with a sword, but I am coming against you in the name of the Lord who rules over all." David ran to the battle line. He reached into his bag. He took out a stone and slung it at Goliath. Boom! The stone hit him on the forehead and sank into it. He fell right to the ground, dead. Boom! Wow. You know what? This is what Bob has to say to us about all of that. God helped a little guy do really, really big things. Larry learned how to ride a skateboard, and he learned how to play the harmonica too. Yay, Larry! It may be a while before he can do both, especially on a big hill, but now he trusts that God will help him do all sorts of things he didn't think he can do. Did you know that God can help you do really big things too? If you love and trust him with all your heart, boys and girls, great things can happen because God made you very special, and he loves you so very much, and so does Sister Kay. So with that, boys and girls, let us go into our Bible verse for today. Oh, I just know you're going to love it. Maybe we can march like soldiers going to take down a giant pickle. Are you ready? With God, all things are possible. Isn't that awesome? It sounds like a great warrior's chant. Here, let's say it again. With God, all things are possible. One more time. With God, all things are possible. Way to go, boys and girls. That's Matthew 19 and 26. Thank you so much for being with me on our midweek story time. I can't wait to hear from you at ottawachurchkids@gmail.com. I love you so very much. We'll see you next week. First Lady Kay. Mwah!